Thank you, Kirk.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Welcome to Steps to the Stage, a 7th Street Community Theater podcast.
Happy Christmas, everyone. We are here and back for my favorite time of year, as well as my favorite production of the year. It's the holiday production, and we have some of our amazing team. We'll include actors, we'll include directors, and we're going to talk about everything that is leading up to the Chino Community Theater's presentation of Miracle on 34th Street, the play. Yay! Confetti cannons. I've got Kris, Jamie, Jack, Tiffany here, and they're going to take us down the journey. We're going to ride the sleigh, right, Santa?
Absolutely.
We're going to ride the sleigh, and we're going to learn about this holiday classic. So, did a little research, released in 1947 as a movie. It was a story by Valentine Davies, and the screenplay and director was George Seaton. And if I'm not mistaken, they won 3 Academy Awards, which included Best Supporting Actor, as well as Best Screenplay and Best Story, if I got that all correct. So just to give you a little bit of background, and of course, since then, there's been so many different radio plays, Broadway, other adaptations. It's just a beautiful, wonderful story, and I'm so glad that we're bringing it here. So before we get started, let's go through and meet all of our guests, and we'll start over here with Kris, our director.
Thank you, Kirk. It's great to be back on the podcast. I feel like I'm kind of a semi-regular.
You are a semi-regular. You're going to be hired pretty soon, I think, and we're going to expand and take over the theater world.
Yes, that sounds like a good plan. But for the immediate thing that we're doing, Miracle on 34th Street, I am just really happy to be. I'm always happy to be back at CCT and directing because I've been here for so many years, and the theater's been around. Where this is our 42nd season,
yeah,
and this is a play that we really haven't done too many times. We've revisited A Christmas Carol a lot. We've done It's a Wonderful Life a few times last year. In fact, I directed the radio production, the radio play version of It's a Wonderful Life, and that was a great deal of fun. And we've tried, some different things over the years, holiday-wise, but we just decided, it's about time we come back to Miracle on 34th Street. It's a really feel-good story, and it is one of the, I think, kind of the classic Christmas movies that we think about. Those core, maybe like 5, that really get done a lot and have been remade many times. And like you said, it was, I believe, a Broadway musical at some point. And so it's just a really good story. And that's what I'm excited to tell, is that ultimately it comes down to, it's just a really good story. It's not just Christmas thrown at you, which, some of the holiday shows are just kind of that. It's just like, Christmas, here it is. And when you strip it down, there's really not a whole lot of substance there. And this play actually has that. This story actually has that.
It is a feel-good movie, and we call it that for a reason, and why millions of people watch it again and again, year over year. So
yes, exactly.
100% agree with that. And I just want to insert here real quick, because I know we have a good local audience, but we also have an expanded audience. But you guys just did your season reveal for the theater. And I know the Children's Theater just did theirs recently as well. So it's just exciting as we head toward the end of the season. We're going to get our feel-good movie, and we're going to get ready for a great slate of productions next year.
Busy time. Busy now, too. With the holidays and everything, it's always a challenge, to do the holiday show for that reason, because you have the reveal on top of it, and people going away for the holidays. I'm missing a couple people all next week because of Thanksgiving. So it is a challenge, but it's a joyful challenge.
Absolutely. Family is important, and so I'm glad that you're letting them spend time with family, Kris.
Yes.
What a wonderful director you are.
I don't know if I had a choice, but
we'll just say you're kind and gentle.
Yes, we'll say that.
Tiffany. Got her right in the laugh.
I know. Nice to be back, guys. This is my third Steps on the Stage. This is my third production with CCT and my second time working with Kris, which is great.
Yes, I will take credit for bringing her to CCT.
Yes, you absolutely can. It actually has always been about you. Actually, it has.
Wow, look at that. Slings and arrows.
It has. My first interest with CCT was Kris directing on the Edge like in 2017, I think it was Boy Gets Girl or something like that. That's when I started stalking him on social media. It's like, so hey, you're
Tracy
doing this
Lay.
show.
Yeah,
Yes.
she did that. Yeah.
You're doing this show. No one does it.
Yeah.
You don't know me. So needless to say, I had a flat tire and couldn't come. But years later, we connected. But Kris asked me to do the season reveal for Miracle on 34th Street last year. So I was excited about it. And then he asked if I would come down and make the drive again. So yeah, absolutely. And I did a production of Wonderful Life last year as well.
Okay, yeah.
So it's...
Which was wonderful.
It was wonderful.
Yeah.
But it's nice to be able to do one. I agree. Christmas Carol has been, for those of you that love Christmas Carol, but Christmas Carol has been done. And if I am giving up my time in the holidays, I like it to have some oomph and some new meaning for people.
And what role are you?
Oh, I'm playing Doris Walker, so I am the non-believer mom.
Wonderful.
Non-believer
Can
mom.
I should have probably introduced everybody, but Tiffany is playing Doris, the non-believer mom, and we also have Jack Richards here, who is Kris Kringle, and then we have Jamie Tintor, who is playing Fred, the amiable next door neighbor, who takes on the great court case, the thrilling court case at the end of the.
We all need a Fred in our life.
Yes,
we really all do need a Fred in our life, and it's great. And I agree with the Christmas Carol, and I was part of one of Kris's holiday productions back in 2019, which was right after. Oh, I'm sorry, that was Jeff Deards. You were Mamma Mia, so I did Mamma Mia, which was the first show that I was able to do, and then I did with Jeff Deards. So it is great now, all this time to meet new people, but see good friends that we've known for a while and that are keep dedicating. And this is a community theater podcast. And as you know, we all drove our Rolls Royces and Bentleys into the theater today. We do this because we love it. You listen because you love it, and you participate in your communities. And so we just cannot stress enough how important it is, no matter what level, that you go and support the arts and support community theater. So let's move on to Jack, who is in front of me.
Spoiler.
And has got a Kris Kringle shirt on and in the mood and has been ho-ho-hoing since he arrived, and we appreciate it.
Let's embody the role, yes?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, I'm having such a good time.
That's great.
It's just a blast. It's been 30 years since I've been on the stage.
30 years?
Yeah. I just recently moved to Chino Hills, and then I came here and I saw Raisin in the Sun. Then I saw the auditions for this, and I said, started growing my beard. Came down to auditions. I go, wow, this is great. The people I auditioned with were so talented.
Yeah.
I did a scene with Jamie.
Yeah.
I said, well, they got to use this guy. So this is some high-flying folks. I don't know if I'm going to get in here. But then when he called and said, yeah, let's go. Let's do it. I said, oh, man. I'm reliving. I cut my bones in Ohio.
Okay.
Chagrin Valley Little Theater.
Love it.
Tim Conway's place. They've
Love
done a
it.
lot of Christmas movies there because
Okay.
it looks like New England.
Yeah.
And so to revisit this back, it's like I've shed 30 years.
What an amazing, amazing story. I'm so glad you shared that with us. And for those that are out there, 30 years back on the stage, and that is really the magic of theater, but specifically this theater. We're a little biased, right? And the people that are involved. And that's it. I'm so lucky that I get to be involved in this podcast and talk to so many great people. But hearing stories like that is another reason why we keep coming back and putting out episodes. So welcome back, as we have painted up here. Glad you're back on the stage, and so glad that you're part of this particular
Appreciate that. Thanks.
production.
You'll be on the nice list.
Look at that. Look at that. Maybe that 59 gold top Les Paul is coming this year, everyone.
You may need to do some more research. Chris, there.
Nice. And let's move over to Fred.
Indeed. So Jamie Tinder, I'm playing Fred Gailey, the Doris's neighbor and Santa's attorney. And this is my first go around here at CCT. And
What kind of retainer does Santa have to pay, if I may? Sorry.
just no coal in the stocking. Just a good, what was it, toy in the Ford? Maybe a nice choo-choo train or something.
He's living with reindeer right now, so he has nothing going for him. Yeah.
Although my favorite Christmas gift as a kid was getting my Nintendo set when I was like 8. And that was like my Santa memory of like, Santa brought this, and that was, I think, my last time where I really believed, and that was a good Santa memory. But like Jack, I moved to Chino Hills this summer. My wife's family lives in the area, and we were living in LA for I moved to LA from Minnesota, as I'm representing today.
You betcha.
Yeah, oh yeah. And I got my start in community theater there up in Hibbing, Minnesota, and I love the community theater. And so when we moved here, I got a job teaching theater at Ayala High School, and saw a couple shows here this summer. I'm like, I just want to be a part of the community. I've found that everybody's been so welcoming in the theater community here in Chino Hills, between the school and the children's theater and the community theater. I wanted to get back on the stage as well in a fun way, and just stepping into this room here, this stage, and just the smell of the theater, and it just feels like home. And Kris and Tiffany and Jack have been just awesome to work with, and it's just been really fun. It's been the highlight of my day. Like, okay, 7:00 rehearsal, and it's a place where all the, some people, I'm from northern Minnesota, so some people like to fish. Deer hunting season just ended. I like the theater. That's my place where I can just feel at home and just feel like, oh, this is what life's all about. Just making fun art with good people. And this particular play, I'd seen Christmas movies growing up, and it was one of those where it would come on, and my dad and my uncles, and they would all quote, oh, here's where Santa's going to do. And it was like, oh, okay. And so when this came about, it's like, well, it feels like Kris was saying earlier, it's not just Christmas. There's a real story there. And so
important. It's so important.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, thanks you guys for introducing yourselves, and such great stories about people that have been here and done productions before, people that haven't been on the stage in quite some time, people that are coming in from other parts of the country and experiencing the magic of this particular community theater, which there's magic everywhere. But so appreciate you all sharing that. And I'm just going to go to Kris and say, you are now taking on, and I know you direct and you do an excellent job. This has to be a challenge. This is a beloved story that obviously is around that Christmas time, but as we've all discussed, there's more to it than that. How do you go into this and talk to us about that preparation?
Well, it is a bit of a challenge, but maybe not what you kind of thought of when you were asking the question, because I'm not really worried about fitting the movie necessarily, because there has been so many adaptations of it. So I think a lot of people have their own special Miracle on 34th Street. And there's a lot of people that love the 90s version of it. In fact, our script was actually written to take place in the 90s, and we decided we were going to go back to the 1940s. In fact, I decided. I shouldn't say we. I decided I wanted it to be, the classic Miracle on 34th Street from the 1940s. For me, there's something about the 1940s that's just kind of special to me. I think it's post-war, the mood of the country, and I think that's when Christmas really just kind of exploded in our kind of consciousness, and the country and commercialism, I think, had a lot to do with it too. In fact, this play touches on that for sure. But This is this is almost like a musical in a lot of ways, just in terms of all the moving parts of it, and there's so many different scenes. I've been kind of used to doing plays with one setting, one living room set or something with a small cast, but this has a very big cast, and I'm working with kids, I'm working with older people, and everyone in between, and it's just a real mixture of people. I actually have some mothers and daughters teams working in the show, and sisters actually, and so there's definitely a family element to it, and but actually there is a little music in the show. We have some dancing elves. We have some carolers. So there's a lot going on for this show. So that was kind of the daunting thing about it, was it's just a big production, and I haven't done kind of a big production like this with so many things.
Yeah.
That are a part of it, and so that was the thing that was mostly the daunting thing. When I saw these people audition, I wasn't worried about bringing this story to the stage, because these are the perfect people for these roles. And sometimes I'm sitting at rehearsal and I'm listening to Jack on stage, and I'm thinking, we got another story here of like the real Kris Kringle auditioning to play Kris Kringle in Miracle on 34th Street, because he's so perfect and so authentic, as you could just hear it. Even I'm sure your listeners can hear it in just his voice.
Well, I'm going to interrupt. I pulled up in my sleigh, and I looked across and I saw Santa in his sleigh. And so for the moment I even walked in before I set up, I was like, I'm talking to Santa today, Yeah. And that is just, it's one of those things that, again, taking this on, I loved hearing you say that, like, yes, there's a lot of content to go off of, but this collective group in this particular area needs to present it the way that they need to present it under your direction. And already just, it's, I do this a lot, and I meet a lot of casts, and sometimes you get, especially in community theater, you get the same actors over and over again playing different parts. And that's fine. That's wonderful. We, I think, have done a great job of the outreach and bringing in people that haven't acted in 30 years, people that have come from other parts of the country, and then people that are experienced and have worked not only in this theater but other theaters, and you get that mix. And then your family mix, I love that as well. Yeah. That's got to help with the energy.
I love having a mix of new and old people, because I think you can learn from people. You can learn from the people that have done shows here for many years, and kind of how every theater kind of has their own vibe and how things work, and so it's always a new experience coming to working in a different theater.
It re-sparks that energy, right? Because sometimes you get a little complacent, or you just get a little, okay, here we go again. So.
Yeah, and so it's always fun to see the newbies come in and kind of learn how things work at this theater, and just like you said, not to see the same people all the time, and to get some new faces up on our stage, and hopefully they'll come back.
Right.
So,
and their families come, and maybe that one of those family members is going to be inspired by what you guys do up there, and then they join some small production or a class, and then they're directing their own shows, right? So. Yeah. Love to see that. Tiffany, I'd love to hear a little bit more about your preparation for something like this, having worked with Kris before and worked on this stage, but this is a new role that you haven't played before, so would love to hear more about what went into that preparation.
Well, I am a classic movie weirdo. I don't even say buff. I say weirdo. I did Children's Hour last year, and provided all of my own costumes, and I'm sort of getting known for, if there's a vintage costume, Tiff will just bring her dresses. Don't worry, we're good. Because I sort of have this weird embodiment of that era in my personal life, and I think a big part of that has to do with my grandmother, who actually introduced me to this movie. She was always, you don't go out without your lipstick. You got to make sure you got certain things. You can be wearing a trash bag, but you must have a lip on. Like that type of thing was her. And with Kris too, I love this era. I love the idea of, it's not necessarily simpler, but more basic, I guess. And having to be connected to people is a really big deal.
Yeah.
I've never played a mom. I think this is my
Ooh.
first time ever playing a mom. I played Medea, but that doesn't count because the kids were dead and I killed them. But
Ho, ho, ho.
I know. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Death and children. No, I don't think I've ever played a mom before. But I have 7 nieces and I have 2 nephews, and I always tend to kind of take on mom energy with people who are younger than me, even people that are older than me, oddly enough. So that was an interesting thing to be like, you know, W.C. Fields was the one that said
Yeah.
working with children and animals. And so I've never really had to like have a kid attached to me on stage, which has been interesting. So just sort of thinking about that. And this script in particular, we were talking about it, Kris and Jamie and I were talking about it just the other night. She's very empowered for the era, being a single mom with a job, living in an apartment,
Divorced.
Yeah, it's not that he died. She is divorced. It is a part of the story. And you didn't see a lot of that. We didn't talk about it if it
Right.
was happening. So I think that's a big part of it too. It sort of puts this, she has to have so many different levels. She has to be able to be soft. She has to be a professional. She has to be a mom. And then there has to be this weird dynamic of being a woman in the 40s, which is very interesting.
Yeah. Jamie, let's talk a little bit about your preparation. And so you had done community theater before, you said in Minnesota. And then when you were in LA as well, or?
Well, I just the quick version of my journey. Yeah, I started in community theater in Minnesota, and then I got involved with college theater and things, and then I went to grad school in Florida State, and then moved out here to do like, you know, TV and commercial stuff.
Okay.
So I did in like 2007 or 2007 to the mid 20 teens. I was pounding the pavement and driving to Santa Monica at 10:30 on a Tuesday for that
Doing the thing.
one word commercial audition and
doing the thing.
Got a few jobs and a few roles. But theater was hard to do, right? Because, I had to have all these gig works, and I would umpire softball games at night and, and substitute teach during the day. And so
Life was happening.
Trying to do a play was hard. So there was a lot of readings. I did a lot of improv and auditioning and all that. And then when my, I got married in 2017, and then we had 2 kids. And so I really didn't do a whole lot because I was at home. And then COVID happened. And so I hadn't been on stage for a while, doing a play and a lot of writing. I'd spend my time in the early 2020s just kind of writing because I'm like, well, I can be at home. I don't have, I can help with the kids. And I'd, try to write some plays, write some screenplays. And it was just my outlet for, my creative juices were that way. But now life has slowed down a little bit. Girls are in school, moved here. And so it's like, oh my gosh, it's so nice to be back in the theater because one thing, I've been acting for a while and I loved what I discovered kind of getting some work in LA and on camera and stuff. I was like, oh, okay, I'm on camera, I'm doing professional work and this and that. But, you go back to your dressing room or go back to your car and like, that's it. The day's over.
Yeah.
The theater, it's like there's community theater, there is a community, there is the connection. You do get to know people. You get to go on the journey together. And there's something that's very nurturing for the soul when that happens, right? Because you go on this ride for 6 weeks or 8 weeks and you get to know people and you get to build relationships and you get to put on a show together, right? And so that is something that I'm discovering like, oh, I really love that, and it's not for any external thing. It's just like, no, this is really just fun for me. This is, and these people have been just really fun to work with. So Fred Gailey, my part, Kris, we quickly became Facebook friends after the audition and everything. And one of my old directors, who's now a longtime friend, Mike, his name's Mike Ritchie. He was my first director. We become friends, and he saw that I was cast as Fred Gailey, and Mike writes, "Oh, Fred Gailey's perfect for you, Jamie." And Kris was like, "Oh, I guess I did good casting." And I'm like, "Yeah, I think." So with Fred, there's the challenge and the fun challenge of, okay, I know this type is a type that I've played and have been cast in before, but how do I, he's a nice guy, right? And I kind of have, as my wife says, a resting nice face, especially when I'm shaved. Opposite
Resting nice face.
Opposite of something else, which we won't say down here. But so it's like, how do I, make Fred my own? Yeah. And so I think with Fred, some of the fun is like the period, like how do I, even with voice and gestures, how to make it sound, 1940s New York. So there's some fun with that. And the courtroom scenes are really fun. It's like, how do I, because that's a trope that people know courtroom dramas. They see it on TV all the time, Law and Order. Everybody knows the courtroom scene. And so I've never really, just like Tiffany is saying, has never played a mother. I've never gotten to play a courtroom scene. So that's a fun challenge. And there is one scene that is just Tiffany and I in Act 2 that feels on its own out of place, right? Because it's dramatic and there's meat there. And in the course of the story, it makes total sense. But that scene has been something, it's like, okay, we really get to have this nice, like, 2-person drama scene in this feel-good story. So there's a lot of fun little moments here. And Fred's been, it's nice to play a type that is familiar, but also these little challenges within it.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Jack.
Yes.
Welcome back. I'm just still in shock over the 30 years. It's really just making me feel warm, happy inside, because I'm fairly new to the theater. I got into the theater through my kids. I got involved, right? And then since then I was lucky enough to act and doing the podcast and all this other stuff, but just fabulous to have you here, and love to know more a little bit about your approach going into playing kind of an iconic role. I mean, I think a lot of people know this guy. So.
Well, 40 years ago, I auditioned first time at CBLT. They were doing a Christmas show. She Loves Me. Providence Hollander was directing, who was a Broadway actress at the time and was doing this little theater thing. So I went and auditioned for it, and I didn't know what I was doing. I hadn't done anything since high school. So they get on stage, and it was very intimidating because the director chair was in the middle of the row, and the producer and the stage manager and all the bigwigs said, "Okay, what are you going to do for us?" I don't know. Okay, well, what are you going to sing? They're singing? I didn't. Okay. So it ended with them saying, "Okay, well, thanks for coming out. We'll call you." And I said, I haven't done theater before, but I know what "don't call us, we'll call you" means. I would just like to be in the play. I'd do anything. You'd put a blanket over me, I'll be a chair. I'll hold the light bulb. What do you want? Anything. Oh, you do background? Sure. So I did, and I had such a good time. Such a good time. It's, to me, it's like a team sport.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Everybody working together.
Agreed.
The second show I auditioned for was George Washington Slept Here. And they cast me in the lead. So I'm going, okay.
Welcome.
So I had about a 10-year run there I just having a blast.
That's fantastic.
And then life happened. And
but you're back.
Yeah.
And you're cast as Kris Kringle.
Yes.
A.K. known as Santa, the big guy. So what goes into prepping for this role from your perspective?
Really not much, because the person I am, Santa, the personality is me. That's who I am. So it just makes it a little more fun. Yeah. Kris said they're adding some music and stuff to it. That adds so much. Oh, pardon me. That's okay. Adds so much to it. So I said, well, what do I do? And so he says, well, you're going to sing Good King Wenceslas. Okay, well, I can do that in Dutch. What? No, no. But we're doing it, and it's coming off. The preparation is just. I was born in '49.
Love it.
So all these things that you're looking at, trying to dig up on YouTube, I saw his first runs as a kid.
This is true.
And Miracle on 34th Street is just, and doing the 40s kind of style.
Yeah.
The transatlantic accents that you can kick in and just have fun with. It's just a really, really good time.
Yeah.
And Kris and I are basically on the same page from the beginning when he said, I'm going to put it back in the 40s. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's where it has to be.
That's a great decision. And it's obviously impacted your cast, Kris, which is each one of them has spoken about how that's guided them in their character development. So, and I think, again, there is that sensibility that you can bring out from that time and that era and that age. And I think it's going to hit home pretty good with the era and age that we're in right now. So excited that you did that. We've had a chance to talk to these wonderful people, but tell us a little bit more about the rest of your creative team and some of the other cast members.
Oh, goodness. We have a lot of people that are contributing to this show. Not to mention, I was going to say one person that I definitely don't want to leave out is our little Susan, who is played. She's we didn't really have enough room, but she's an equally large role to the ones that are here. But Susan is Doris's daughter, and she's the one. Doris has been not exactly the mother for someone to believe in Santa Claus. In fact, she's told her daughter that there is no Santa Claus. You believe in. Yeah, yes. There are no alternative facts with Doris. She tells her daughter to believe what is real, and so there's not a lot of wiggle room with Doris, and that's where the basic conflict comes in with Fred. Because he's a much different character, much more open to believing other things and having faith and stuff like that. But I'm getting away from all that. But anyway, Sammy Grimley, who is longtime CCT people will know.
We were in Mamma Mia together.
Yeah, Sammy's mom, Stephanie, who is also in our show. She plays Dr. Pierce.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so Sammy is doing a wonderful job as Susan, and she in fact premiered the part doing it for our reveal scene. So she charmed our audiences already. So I think we have a couple weeks to go, so she's just going to be even better, and they're just going to adore her, and she's really, really charming, and it's a big part for a little girl, and she's really doing a great job. And so I wanted to, special mention to Sammy.
Yes.
We love Sammy.
Yes, and you will, especially when you come and see this. She's just adorable. And we have, I can't, unfortunately, it would take me forever to go through the entire cast, all the names, but you can go online and, check our website and more importantly, come see the show and see the program. But what's so great about this show is that everybody, God bless them, they come in and they may have only one or two lines, for what we're rehearsing that night. And they just give their all, and we see these fully fleshed out characters who are just showing up for just a second. And that's what makes these kind of shows really great, is when it's not just seeing really good performances in the leads and then everybody else is just kind of staring into space. You're seeing everybody fully engaged and everybody feeling, and that's what I really wanted, is everyone to feel like they're an essential part of this particular show, because there's so many, like I said before, so many elements to it. And I want everyone to know that they are an essential element to it, and it just adds so much, to the basic, tapestry that we're trying to present.
I can tell just from this short conversation that the energy of the entire cast and crew is that drawing light, I would imagine, for people that are coming in just for one one line, you know, but they want to be within the group, and you guys are looking forward to it. You've mentioned that's like, I look forward to this. It's my chance to just kind of get away from the day stuff. So that's a testament, Kris, to you and the leadership that you're providing. And I've been fortunate enough to be a part of one of your productions, and obviously have seen a lot. So kudos to you and to have that as a vision. But I really feel like it's been created, and I'm excited to see that on the stage. So.
Yeah, well, and I also should mention I have Paige Pulsine, who is our artist.
Yes,
who I almost said artistic director. She's my assistant director.
Okay.
And Paige is somebody who people will remember from the Children's Hour, and she was in August Osage County. She's been in a lot of shows here. But she said, hey, I'd really like to be involved in a show. Are you looking for anybody to help with, I said, be my assistant director. And now she's going to be the stage manager too. And she roped in her husband to do our set. And I was really worried about the theater. I was worried about the set because it's, it's one thing where we have Act 1 is basically Macy's, and then Act 2 is a courtroom. So we had to make a set that kind of works for both. And I think Brad did a really great job in doing that. And I think it's going to be a really fun, we're still working on it.
Yeah.
We still have a lot of work to do. We were painting all day yesterday.
Yeah.
So we're getting there, but we have a great crew. Alex Huey is doing our costumes, and they were here with Karen Larson pulling all the 40s era stuff that we have from our costume dungeon that we have. So, that's another thing, when I knew when we were going to the 40s, I was like, ooh, that's period.
Yeah.
That's definitely more challenging for the costumer. But we have Alex Huey, and she's another one, kind of a staple at CCT. Yeah. So she's done kind of everything here. So she took this on, and she's really seems to be excited by the challenge. And I swear to God, I didn't cast Tiffany because of her stash of 40s clothes, but it definitely comes in handy.
It was a benefit.
Yes, it definitely comes in handy.
And I want to say too, as well, you mentioning the names that you've mentioned, and we have some newcomers to CCT, but not to community theater. But a lot of these people that you're mentioning are actors as well, and so I love seeing that people get on both sides, as it were. They get on stage, but they also are part of that. Whether it's props, whether it's this, whether it's the scene, whether it's clothing, whether it's whatever it is that I think it helps them as well. Not only as part of the creative team, but as actors as well, right?
And I love to hear people like what Paige did come up and say, I just want to be involved. Like, just whatever it is you have for me, I'll do it. And that's like the true theater person.
Yes.
That's just like, I need to be in theater right now.
Yeah.
Just whatever you got for me, I'll take. And that's wonderful.
Go
ahead. Yeah, one of the things that I think about, you did such a good job casting the heavies. Every play, you have to have the heavies. So we have a Mr. Sawyer, and we have the prosecutor.
Yes, Danny Chase as Sawyer, and
Mary
Reichert, I think is how you pronounce her last name. Yeah. Sorry, Mary, if I did it wrong. She's playing Mrs. Mara, Fred's nemesis in court, and they're really great playing off each other, and
wonderful.
Yeah, they're great. You're right. You got to have some villains.
Easy to hate. And the interesting thing is typically they're the nicest people in the world.
Yeah,
but you see them in the show, and it's yes, get off.
Well, I love that you're bringing that up, the chemistry between those that have been cast. But I wanted to ask something that for our and I'm going to say this on purpose, our little theater, if you're coming from being used to be a part of a larger theater, are too new to this theater, what was that first reaction, and how are you adjusting to having what is somewhat of a small space for a community theater?
It's interesting. There's no wings. Which makes the set design construction. But it's really nice because it's very intimate. Still big cast. A lot of set design changes, but
not a bad seat in the house. This
is very true. Yeah. Very true.
Yeah, I mean, I think with the theater, there's all different shapes and sizes, and some things remain the same. I mentioned earlier the smell of a theater, and you walk in, and the sound when you're speaking up on stage, and you kind of adjust to, okay, well, this is going to be this size of a house, or this is going to be a huge house, and you kind of adjust. But a lot of it remains the same. And one thing I love about this, I was able to come yesterday for a little bit to paint, and last week to pick up a screw gun and try to make my way through that and hold a piece of wood while it was sawed, and all that stuff is really fun. That you don't get to do in a different setting or professional setting.
Right.
Where, okay, well, this is the union job to do this or that or the other thing. It's like, oh, you pick we're part of a team, as Jack said, the team sport. And I think, I grew up playing basketball and baseball in high school, and that was something that I loved, being part of that group. And theater, once I hit college, took that over. And so yeah, there's some differences as far as house size and stuff, but all the good stuff is the same. And I think this community, what I've found is like people just help each other out, and that's been one thing that I've only been in town for 6 months, and that's what I found with this community. It's like, people, the children's theater is working with the schools, and the children's theater and the community theater, are sharing resources, and everybody's lending a hand. And that's just a really fun community to be a part of. I grew up in a small town, and that was kind of the feeling.
Right.
Like, oh, this is a small town. Like, oh yeah, I'll help you. Oh, you need to jump on your car, I'll help you. Oh, you need to help with it. And that you don't get in a bigger city or whatever. But in a town, in a community, it's like, oh, this is it really feels good and feels at home to me. And so every theater has its own size and shape, and I think there's something about the people here that make the theater, and that's what's really cool.
Well, you're not going to get an argument from me on that, and I'm fortunate enough that I get to also see what's going on in our schools and have children that are involved in theater. And then we've also been just started our new Inland Empire Steps to the Stage, and we're going to hopefully get some more episodes out about that, because we do have a number of theaters throughout our area, and we also have, as mentioned, the high schools and some of the junior colleges and colleges as well. And it's just about that community. And thank you so much for saying that, because it is really about the people. We can paint it, we can make it look great, we can put an amazing costume on it, but it's about that person and then how they play that role, how they're directed, and taking that well-written message. So this is just fantastic. I'm really excited about this. I do love my holidays, and very excited, and have been fortunate enough to be one of the holiday productions.
Oh, one thing I'd like to mention too is because I just did a deep dive into the 1940s for this show, I wanted to do something a little different, for our audiences. So I started finding all these old radio shows, and I was like, wouldn't it be fun to play a different old radio program from December of 1947, from when we're setting this. So I think I have our schedule, so it's going to be, so if you come early, you'll be able to sit and listen to either the Christmas episode of Burns and Allen from that year, or Jack Benny show, or Fibber, McGee, and Molly, which is something probably no one's ever heard of now, but that was a huge hit at the time. And Bing Crosby, of course. So yeah, that'll be just something a little extra, just to get people in the 1940s, mindset as they're waiting for the show to start.
I love that. Well, everyone, our Miracle on 34th Street, the play, is going to debut on December 5th. It is going to run through the December 20th. The performances will be on Fridays and Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. and on Sundays at 2:30 p.m. Tickets are available now. You can call the box office at 909-590-1149, or you can go to our website at ChinoCommunityTheater.org. One more time for those that are listening, ChinoCommunityTheater.org. And we actually do have, I should say, 2 Saturday matinees. Oh, okay.
The postcard is a little confusing, but the last 2 weekends we do have a Saturday matinee.
Wonderful.
So we have 2 performances on Saturday, the last 2 weekends.
And then I know in the past many of the CCT productions do a opening night
gala and talkback. Is
Yes,
that
exactly.
happening?
Yes, that is happening. So if you come on opening night, there will be a little gala afterwards. Kind of, if you came to the season reveal, it's kind of the same thing, where we have a green room set up with some food and drink, and people mingle and talk to the cast and stuff. It's very fun, and it's free. So we don't charge any extra for that for your ticket. So it's a good reason to come on opening.
On an already very reasonable price ticket.
Yes,
So-
it for sure. And then we will be having a talk back, which I should know that date, but I think it's the first Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the first Sunday, because
So the
sometimes we change
7th,
it for
December
the Three on the
7th.
Edge festival. But the first Sunday, we're going to have a talk back with the cast that we've been starting to do with our productions for a few years now, and
Yeah.
and audiences
great.
seem to enjoy it. Yeah.
I do appreciate that happens. Jamie, Jack, Tiffany, Kris, thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
Thank you, Kirk.
Steps to the Stage. Great to meet you guys. Great to see you guys again. I hope we see you again and do another interview for another production. And just so fantastic to hear. And welcome back, Kris. Welcome back, right? So thank you, everyone. Thanks to all the listeners. Again, get your tickets now. This will sell out. Please get your tickets now. Our holiday events always sell out.
I believe December 7th is already sold out, or close to sold out. Yeah.
There you go. So you gotta come and see this production. And as we've been mentioning throughout, support your local community theaters wherever you're at. We have international listeners. We so appreciate you. Send us a note. Send us a message. Talk to us. We want to hear. I'd love to interview some of you people that are overseas. We've done an interview with a production from Australia, and we'd love to include Europe and some other places. On top of our beautiful Inland Empire and our theaters here that we love. We just love community theater. So thank you so much, you guys. Appreciate you spending time today, but especially for putting your all into this production. And I know everyone who comes and has the wonderful opportunity to see it is just going to have a magical evening. So thanks, you all.
Thank you, Kirk.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Thanks for listening to Steps to the Stage, a 7th Street Community Theater podcast. Follow us on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a review and a 5-star rating. It really helps. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Special thanks to Chino Community Theater and Chino Community Children's Theater for their generous support. And very special thank you to the listeners. Steps to the Stage was created by Joey Rice and Kirk Lane. Logo created by Marley Lane. Original music by Joey Rice. Your host, Kirk Lane. Engineer and producer, Joey Rice. Engineer and executive producer, Kirk Lane.